long time for this from a people of Penrith. Yes.
Penrith takes out the 1991 Grand Final. Missing Queanbeyan woman sighted. And Croatia under attack from the air, sea and land.
From Capital Television, this is 10 Evening News.
Good evening. The Winfield Cup is on its way to Penrith tonight. The Canberra Raiders played a great game, but it's the Panthers that are celebrating. Peter Chapman has the details.
Thanks very much, Mal. Good evening. Well, the champions have been beaten. Canberra lost the Winfield Cup in a drama-charged grand final 1912, allowing the club from the foot of the mountains, Penrith, to take the trophy home. Penrith striving for their first grand final ever, and Canberra for their third in a row. The desperation written on the faces as the Warriors filed on. Penrith wanted a quick start against the champions, and veteran Warhawk...
Also an early start in Canberra, where Big Mal hit the road in multiples.
Canberra to win!
The Raiders' #1 fan was already in Sydney, attending a St George Club breakfast in opposition leader John Hewson's home territory. There was nothing frantic about the way the faithful descended on the stadium, which was family-orientated. Out in the car park, a toast to the teams.
Penrith to win.
When both sides arrived, it was casual and without fuss. They could have been going to the beach. Not so good. The view from Steve Whalen's helmet as the skydivers struggled to clear the stadium roof.
But it looks like we're just going to make it over.
From there, an uninjured Steve was stuck with the best view in the house as a medley of rock and roll numbers brought us through 4 decades of music. While 2,500 dancers clearly put the emphasis on youth, there was time for a tribute to 1963's 2 models for today's prize, Norm Provan and Arthur Summers.
With the stadium now at good-natured capacity, Phantom of the Opera Andrew Warlow did the final honours.
Australians, oh let us rejoice, for we are young and free.
A fired-up Mark Guy was about 20 centimetres too high, leading Penrith's early defence, but a warning had the Panthers down to hard work and Steve Carter like a terrier on Belcher.
Carter's there. Great chasing.
It was a break that gave Penrith its first shot at the Raiders' line.
Racing Simmons! Simmons gets it!
But the dream start was shattered by a mighty counterpunch as Canberra's forwards ripped them upfield and Ricky Stewart caressed the ball across field.
And Matthew Wood in behind Smith! Unbelievable!
With or without the ball, the Raiders had snapped to life, and the hint of knee in Alexander's tackle allowed Meninga to level it.
It's 6-all.
Penrith had caught a serious case of grand final.
It was grand final day, and the television screens were all indoors. By lunchtime, the pubs and clubs of the capital began filling up, but this is where they all wanted to be, the Sydney Football Stadium. 41,000 had the privilege from both sides of the footballing spectrum. Pre-match spectacular was as elaborate as ever, perhaps too elaborate for the Paracam parachutist. He didn't quite make it into the stadium. Elvis Presley did make it, looking a little slimmer than we last saw him, and backed up by another surprise appearance from the Big O. Also rising from the dead, the Village People. Living legends Norm Provan and Arthur Summers were on hand to model the Winfield Cup on its 10th anniversary. But come 3 o'clock, all the razzmatazz was on the field. The Raiders gave their fans plenty to cheer about in the first half.
Wood gets a double! They had a chance inside of that.
But at the end of the day, the only colours that mattered were black, white, red, green and gold. The colours of the 1991 premiers, Penrith.
More sport later with Peter Chapman. A grim search for bodies continues.